I'm Nicole Auerbach.
Kevin Kugler of Westwood One.
Hi, everybody. It's Pete Granick of the Memphis Grizzlies and Fox Sports Southeast.
This is Danielle Musselman.
This is Kyle Peterson with ESPN.
This is Tom Hart of ESPN and the SEC Network. Thanks for tuning in to the Washington Sports Digital Network.
Once again, we are happy to see you in Bill Vining Arena. Welcome back to this Saturday broadcast where the Ouachita Baptist Tigers are hosting the Southwestern Oklahoma State Bulldogs for this 1 o'clock matinee women's basketball action. I'm Isaac Bourne, joined by Phil Bird, and we are excited to bring you this game where, Phil, there's some stakes behind this one this time. Obviously, Ouachita picking up their second win in conference on Thursday, and SWOSU picking up a win just in the same town of Arkadelphia against Henderson the other day. But looking into what we've got in the GAC standings, there's still a lot left to play, Phil. And with 15 games left to play, there's lots of ties, and Harding sitting at the top with Sage Hawley, one of the best players in the conference herself. Now, though, looking into Thursday's results, one thing that you see, obviously, Ouachita picking up a win here in a close matchup against Northwestern Oklahoma State. Meanwhile, you see some other big wins, mainly 3-3 home games and away games. The away team winning 3 times and the home team winning 3 times. Now, though, looking into today's matchups in the Great American Conference, the highlight game to look at, the top team Harding going up against Oklahoma Baptist in Searcy. That's going to be a good one at 1 o'clock. But here at 1 o'clock in Bill Vining Arena, you see right there Ouachita hosting Southwestern Oklahoma State. Now moving on. Today's game has some stakes behind it. We mentioned that, Phil. Ouachita sitting at 6-5 in the GA, 6-5 on their all-season record. Meanwhile, 2-5 in the GAC. Southwestern Oklahoma State 7-6 overall for the season, 3-4 in the GAC. Both these teams sitting under 500, hoping to get one step closer, and SWOSU hoping to get to 500. Both teams coming off a win. SWOSU on the road here at Ouachita at home. Now, Phil, you look into this matchup. You've got 2 players that we're looking at right now. For Ouachita, Madeline Tipton, and for SWOSU, Avery Zinn. What do you see from both of these players, and what do you see from these teams that we can expect going into this one?
Well, looking at Madeline Tipton for the Tigers, obviously one of the leading players on this team, 14.7 points per game, as you can see here. She's also shooting 44% from the field for the season. But if we look in that last game against Northwestern Oklahoma State, she had somewhat of a down game. And looking at the way that this Tigers team is made up, if one player has a down game, it's the next player up. We look at Abby Harrison. In that matchup, she had 20 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 steals as well in that matchup. She certainly stepped up in a time when maybe some other players weren't playing their best, and I think that shows the depth that this Tigers team has. On the other side, Avery Zinn, definitely an impressive player. She has been averaging 11.9 points per game this season, also 3.8 rebounds, 3.2 assists, and important to note, 2.2 steals per game. I think that shows she has some offensive and defensive talent. Meanwhile, this entire SWOSU team is very deep as well, just like the Tigers. They have 4 players hovering around within 2 points per game of each other, so really this should be a good matchup.
And then looking at both of these teams on the stat sheet, you obviously have Ouachita 9th in the GAC in points per game. Just under them, though, is SWOSU at 10th in points per game. This game looking to be more of a grinded-out game. Both of these teams, very defense-heavy. You look at Ouachita 3rd in the conference in points per game allowed. Meanwhile, SWOSU 7th in the conference. But then that field goal percentage and field goal percentage allowed, Ouachita really shines. And Phil, looking at those stats, how do you expect Ouachita to gain an advantage? And then how do you see SWOSU maybe gaining that?
Well, looking at the rebound margin, I think that's very important to the way that this game will play. This game is going to be played in the post. Also, Ouachita has to do a good job of taking care of the ball. Meanwhile, SWOSU needs to try to force some turnovers here.
All right, now we're going to switch it over to the national anthem and starting lineups brought to you by the PA announcer.
Southwestern Oklahoma State University against your Washita Tigers. At this time, we invite you to stand for our national anthem. And now introducing the starting lineup for the Southwestern Oklahoma Bulldogs. Senior guard from Claremore, Oklahoma, number 2, Haley Grant. Senior guard from Anadarko, Oklahoma, number 5, Avery Zinn. Senior guard from Panhandle, Texas, number 13, Mason Jones. Sophomore guard from Anadarko, Oklahoma, number 20, Chloe Cantrell. And senior guard from Anadarko, Oklahoma, number 21, Lainey Zinn. The head coach of the Southwestern Bulldogs is Jeff Zinn. The assistant coaches are James Bagwell and Caitlin Johnson. And now, Tiger Nation, let me hear you roar! This is the starting lineup for your Washita Tigers! Junior forward from Auburn, Alabama, number 2, Audrey Winfrey. Junior guard from Bologna, Arkansas, number 23, Madeline Tipton. Junior guard from Marmaduke, Arkansas, number 30, Heidi Robinson. Junior forward from Hernando, Mississippi, number 32, Abby Harrison. And senior guard from Bologna, Arkansas, number 22, Lainey Mears. The head coach of the Washita Tigers is Callie Hill. The assistant coach is Brandy Higginbotham. This afternoon's officials are Demetri Brown, Melissa Mitchell, and Mark Eubanks.
And there you have it, folks. Starting lineups have been completed, and we are just a mere seconds away from this matinee game here at Bill Vining Arena. Phil, you look into both of these teams, Washita coming off a win here on Thursday, and then SWOSU coming off a win at Henderson on Thursday. What do you see from both of these squads?
Well, you know, both of these teams are very deep. They both have the ability to play no matter what. This Bulldogs team is going to be really trying to force turnovers here. They forced 19 turnovers in that game against Henderson. The Tigers need to take care of the ball. They're 10th in the region in turnover margin. That's going to be very important in this one.
And the tip is up, and that one goes straight to Madeline Tipton. Tigers start the game with the ball, and they're going to run quickly. Winfrey gets in a trap right out to Robinson, and Heidi Robinson sinks the triple to start the game.
That depth is really on display there. Great ball movement from the Tigers to find the open person in Robinson.
Lainey Zinn, she's got the ball at the top of the key. Mason Jones out back to Zinn. Zinn floater at the free throw line. That one's no good. Rebound by Cantrell though, and SWOSU's got themselves another possession. And pull-up three is good for Mason Jones. She did it right in the eye of Madeline Tipton, and you see the smiles by both of them that Mason Jones and them have history. Tipton, she wants one, and she says, give it to me. That's three for Madeline Tipton, and that's a quick 6 for the Tigers.
You can already tell that this is going to be a fun matchup. These players are having fun together. They're playing their own brands of basketball. This is the type of basketball you want to see.
Zinn spinning around Robinson. That one's no good off the left side. She's 0 for 2 to start the game. Robinson running quickly. The Tigers, meanwhile, have started this game very quickly. They're 2 for 2 on field goals. Nice mismatch on the inside, and Abby Robinson is going to get the easy right-handed layup. Abby Harrison, excuse me. Cantrell, ball on the left side. Here's Avery Zinn. She's guarded by Mears. Looking to get through. Shot over Harrison is blocked. Somehow the ball's bobbled around back right to Zinn. But unaware of the shot clock there, and that is a turnover for SWOSU.
Great job there by the Tigers to make SWOSU use the entire length of that shot clock. Great defense there by Laney Mears. She's truly a two-way player in every sense of the game.
The Tigers now with the ball. They have not missed a shot so far. They start off 3 for 3 from the field. High-low inside to Harrison, and that's stolen. Good find by Madeline Tipton to get it to Abby Harrison, but Harrison unable to procure it on the inside.
You see there's sort of a height mismatch there with Harrison and the rest of the SWOSU team. It'll be interesting to see how both players try to handle that strategy.
And Zinn knocks it down, and that's her first field goal of the game. We've seen the threes flying so far today. We've got 4 of the 5 field goals made by either team have been from deep. Tipton on the outside. She's guarded closely by Avery Zinn. And that one's stolen by Jones. Mason Jones taking it down the court. Jones, a transfer from Tarleton State. Outside. Zinn with the drive. And that one no good. Mears inside to Harrison, and Abby Harrison finds herself wide open.
And right there, you're seeing some conditioning differences between these two teams. This Ouachita team is playing at their own pace. They're playing fast. If they can keep forcing SWOSU on their back foot, that could be good for them.
Mason Jones, drive on the inside, floater over Mears. Lady Mears might have got a piece of it there. Harrison inside the three-point arc. She's guarded by Zinn. Puts it up. That one's no good. That'll be the Tigers' first miss of the contest. They're still 4 for 5 to start.
Good job there by Laney Zinn. She struggled a little bit offensively, but defensively she can hang with the best of them. Clearly, the much taller Harrison had too much to handle there.
And Tipton gets it inside to Harrison. She'll be fouled that time by Haley Grant, so that means Abby Harrison will be taking the first free throws of the game. Meanwhile, platoon swap for the Tigers. Brooke Smith, Samantha Watson, Joey Babel, and right after the free throw, looks like Grayson Fairless will be coming in for Abby Harrison. And then for SWOSU, coming in number 3, Laney Gooch.
You can see there on all of the Tigers' faces, they have been playing a very fast-paced version of basketball, kind of worn out a little bit here. interesting to see entire platoon swap here for the Tigers.
And Harrison, that second free throw is no good, so she'll stay in the game for now. Avery Zinn. Here's Gooch. Inside. 3 over Mears is good by Avery Zinn. That's 3 threes to start for the Bulldogs.
Believe it or not, folks, neither team has missed a three-point shot so far.
And good heads-up awareness by Gooch to prevent the pass to Watson. And that'll send a substitution in after the media timeout. We're going to stay right here, though. We want to thank our sponsor of today. We want to thank Hatcher Agency. The Hatcher Agency in Little Rock is the home of outrageous service. The Hatcher Agency gives outrageous service for both commercial and personal lines of insurance, including both property and casualty insurance. Contact the Hatcher Agency today at 501-375-3737 or visit www.hatcheragency.com. Also, congratulations to Greg Hatcher for his 2025 induction into the Arkansas Sports Hall of Fame. Get your outrageous service at the Hatcher Agency. And we here at the Ouachita Sports Digital Network want to thank the Hatcher Agency for their sponsorship. So, Phil, you look into this matchup so far, we've seen a lot of shots coming from behind the arc. And what we've also seen from outside is a lot of beautiful snow. So, neither team is really cold, and while it's cold outside, what do you see and how do you see this game develop when it comes to the three-point shot?
Well, we can certainly say that the three-point shot is going to be the main source of scoring from both of these teams so far, at least. I hope to see Ouachita continue that pace. They have been an amazing three-point shooting team so far this season. It's interesting, we have not seen Lainey Mears get a shot up yet. Lainey Mears, one of the best three-point shooters on this entire Tigers team. She shoots 45% from three. So it's interesting to see both teams relying heavily on the three ball. We'll see how that continues.
Mears has been a great source of passing in this game so far, already 2 assists. Meanwhile, Mears the only starter in the game, and she's going to take her first field goal. That one's no good. Joey Babel trying to grab it, but she'll still step out of bounds. Like you said, though, Phil, that's her first shot of the game. No good. That'll be the first missed 3 of the game for Ouachita, but Mears has been a solid player in the passing game.
Absolutely. Mears consistently averaging the most assists of anyone on this team. She, in the past, has taken a scoring perspective on this court, but it's really nice, honestly, to see her focusing on assists here.
That one will be a foul for Ouachita. SWOSU taking it out of bounds. Here's Mason Jones in the corner. Only 1 substitution right now for SWOSU, contrary to Ouachita's 4 that they've done so far. Corner 3 by Cantrell is no good, so both teams missed their first 3s in succession. Here's Joey Babel. She's yet to attempt a shot this one, but I'm sure that is to change. Watson, spin around Jones. Brooke Smith. And great effort there by Lainey Zinn to prevent the pass. And that'll be a jump ball, and SWOSU will take it.
Great defense there. Also great job by the Tigers of communicating, trying to get the ball around, always trying to find the next man up, the next player, next woman up, my apologies, the next player to get the pass to. Just did not work out in the end there. Great job by SWOSU's defense.
Mason Jones, she's guarded by Madeline Tipton. Zinn in the corner. Nice behind the back. Good find to Gooch, but great recovery there by Lainey Mears. Mason Jones, and that one's stolen by Watson. Samantha Watson, way to get it in the passing lane there, and Ouachita's running quickly. Lainey Mears, 3 on the break, and that one's laces.
That is more what we're used to seeing from Lainey Mears. That first shot may have been an anomaly, but boy, oh boy, can she shoot the ball from outside the arc.
Lainey Mears starts the game 1 for 2, both shots coming from deep. Avery's in on the outside, guarded by Watson. Cantrell over Smith, that one's no good. Good follow though by Zinn, and she's got one more shot at the line.
We've seen already a little bit of focus on rebounding from SWOSU. They have 7 now in this game compared to Ouachita's 5. That'll be important for Lady Bulldogs if they can manage to out-rebound the Tigers. They have the worst rebound margin in the GAC right now at negative 10.8. It'll be really cool, and it'll be a good strategy for the Bulldogs if they can manage to take the rebounding game away from the Tigers.
Substitutions for both teams. Heidi Robinson coming in for Lainey Mears, and then coming in for Lainey Zinn is number 22, Libby Zinn, her sister. Heidi Robinson, she's got the ball. Tigers lead by 2, and that one stripped by Avery Zinn, but it'll stay in possession of the Tigers. Good heads-up play by the senior. Madeline Tipton will take it out of bounds, and that one's blocked by Jones. Somehow the Tigers battle for it, and that'll be a jump ball this time. Ouachita maintains possession. This SWOSU team continues to have good hands, keeping the Tigers from making some hard passes.
And yeah, that was good hustle by Madeline Tipton. You know, she may have flubbed the pass a little bit, but she made up for it immediately. She hustled. She didn't let SWOSU have an easy steal there. Great job by Madeline Tipton.
Tipton on the floor. And that's another jump ball, and this time it'll go towards the Bulldogs. Tipton just lost it there, jumped right on it, and then just unable to get it to one of her teammates.
And we've seen there 3 jump balls already. An interesting strategy that the Lady Bulldogs are taking here.
SWOSU just has been able to get their hands in passing lanes. That time Gooch's 3, no good. And Samantha Watson will take it.
Heavy pressure there by Lainey Zinn.
Robinson driving to the middle. Floater is good. What a shot over Cantrell, and Heidi Robinson makes it look like another day at the office.
One of the most difficult shots in the game is a floater, but even more difficult is a floater when you're actively falling to the ground. I can't believe she made that.
Mason Jones, guarded by Tipton. And Libby Zinn puts her shoulder into Robinson, and they're going to call Robinson on the foul.
Blocking foul on the Tigers, number 30, Heidi Robinson. It's her first personal foul. Subbing in for Ouachita, number 2, Audrey Winfrey. Subbing in number 35,
And substitution for Ouachita, Brooke Smith going out, coming in for her, Audrey Winfrey. Jones, that one stripped really quickly, but she's going to maintain possession. Zinn pull up over Watson. That time it's no good. Ball bobbled around. And they're going to say Winfrey stepped on the line.
Southwestern, number 23,
Substitution again for SWOSU and for Ouachita. Babel comes in for Watson. And then in for SWOSU, number 23, Mabry Shields.
We're seeing a lot of substitutions here for the Tigers. It's not something we've seen too much of from them in the past. Maybe they're trying out a new strategy. They're definitely playing at a very fast pace. Definitely trying to give all the players as much rest as they can.
Jones on the inside. Hook over Harrison. That one's no good. Good rebound by Winfrey. Ouachita running the other way. Tipton. Inside. And Harrison, that shot's no good. They're going to say it went off of her. And SWOSU's got the ball back.
Tough break by Harrison there. She seemed a little out of her element going into the paint. It'll be important for the Tigers for Harrison to be on her A game. That's how they're going to win this game.
Mason Jones, she's got the ball again. Double screen. And that one's no good. She had herself a decent look, but good defense by Tipton to prevent it being easier. Winfrey. She's guarded by Shields. The SWOSU pressure continuing to give Ouachita some issues trying to find shots on the inside. Shot clock ticking down. Robinson, she's got to get a shot up. Floater over Gooch is no good. Babel with the follow. Outside to Tipton. No good. SWOSU able to get the rebound. They've got 7 seconds left. They're going to use up the rest of the clock. Gooch with the 3 at the buzzer. no good, and that'll end off the quarter. Your first quarter score, 16 for Ouachita and 12 for Southwestern Oklahoma State. Now going back to that floater by Heidi Robinson, just look at the effort that she takes over Cantrell, falling to the ground, trying to draw the foul, doesn't get it, but still sinks it. Just a great example of what we've seen from this team today. But before we show you some second quarter action, we're gonna take a quick break, so we'll be right back with you here on the Ouachita Sports Digital Network.
I'm Attorney Taylor King. For years, you've heard us say we'll be on your side, by your side.
I'm Attorney Austin King. At Taylor King Law, we stand by that promise.
And I'm Attorney Maggie King Davis. I'm proud to be a part of a team of dedicated professionals who are prepared
To be on your side and by your side when you need us most.
If you've been injured, contact the Taylor King Law Firm.
And we, and more, will be on your side, by your side.
And there you see, it's been a white January here in Arkadelphia, Arkansas, as you see the snow falling. As right now, the snow falling, but the shots also falling here at Bill Vining Arena. Thank you to Gavin Wallace of OSDN for getting that drone footage for us. But in this one, it's a close one to start. Both teams getting shots to fall, Phil.
Absolutely. The Tigers definitely having a little bit of an advantage here, especially when it comes to field goal percentage, 54.5% compared to SWOSU's 22%. We'll see if that can continue here today.
Tough defense by the Bulldogs, and they're gonna call the charge. Abby Harrison, she'll pick up her first foul of the game. That's her team's third, but tough break by the center, Harrison, as she's been inside multiple times, just unable to convert in a good minute. Zinn taking it down the court. Here's Haley Grant. Back out to Avery Zinn. She's gonna take the shot over Babel and sinks it. Avery Zinn, that's 2 threes for her today, and she's accounted for 6 points of her team's 15.
And that's what we've seen all game. Players just taking the shots right in front of their opponents' faces. Definitely a new take on the game. We have not seen up until recent years, but very interesting to see these players focus on that.
Steal by Libby Zinn, and she's just going to take it right back out. Doesn't want to risk the defensive play, but nice pass inside to Shields, and SWOSU starts the quarter on a 5-0 run. Ouachita now, they need some points to end this Bulldog run before it gets out of hand. And Mears trying to get the ball inside, and she's fouled by Laney Zinn.
It's important to note here the Tigers are 1-4 in their last 4 field goals as we see some substitutions.
Substitution for Ouachita, Brooke Smith, Heidi Robinson, and Madeline Tipton are coming in. And then for SWOSU, number 13, Mason Jones finds her way back out on the court.
Good to see Heidi Robinson getting back in the game. We saw her on the bench a few minutes ago, seemingly in a little bit of pain. Hopefully that does not affect her ability to play here today.
Smith, right inside the three-point arc, outside to Tipton. Tigers passing it around. Good defense by SWOSU. And the Euro step for Laney Mears is good, but Brooke Smith falling to the ground, visibly in pain. And she will limp across the court, but she needs a substitution. She'll go right to athletic trainer Bailey Burris, and then coming in for her, Caden Porter. Best wishes, hoping that the sophomore is all right now, but for the time being, Avery Zinn takes it down the court, and Mears on that layup will give Ouachita the lead right back.
Absolutely, that Euro step, that great ball movement from Mears was evident every step of the play. She had full control of the basketball, and she wants SWOSU to know it.
Outside to Mason Jones. She's going to take the shot over Tipton, no good. Porter on the rebound. Heidi Robinson. Hand off to Tip. Cross pass. Porter, nice drive on the inside, has Mears wide open. And Lainey Mears rattles it in from deep.
When you see Mears wide open on the side, you might as well go ahead and put the points up on the board. One of the most efficient three-point shooters in the GAC.
Lainey Mears. Give her 8 today. She had that 3 earlier, and then the layup just a minute ago. Substitution for Ouachita. Mears coming out, and in is Samantha Watson. Pass out to Zinn. That one's no good. Foul away from the ball.
Looks like that foul is going to go on number 11, Caden Porter.
All right, Mason Jones driving. Shields, she's going to take it over Porter, and that one's good.
As we can see, great ball movement from the Tigers overall, but very interesting to see both teams going shot for shot here tonight.
Ouachita holding on to a small 1-point lead. Robinson finds Watson. Shot clock ticking down, ticking below 6 seconds now. Stolen by Grant. And that'll be an over and back. They're gonna say that Grant did not touch it. So turnover for the Tigers. Substitution for Ouachita though. Coming in for Porter. That'll be Abby Harrison.
We can see the 4 main producers for Ouachita, as is always, Mears, Tipton, Robinson, and Harrison, getting most of the action in. SWOSU able to shut them down in some instances. It'll be interesting to see if the rest of the Tigers can make up for that.
Phil, this is an interesting stat. Of the 13 field goals attempted in this game, all but one of them have been attempted by those 4 players. And the only player to attempt a field goal other than those 4 flagship players has been Joey Babel.
Definitely very interesting. It's not something we're not used to. Those 4 players consistently productive for the Tigers, but with some injuries in the realm of possibility, certainly it'll be interesting to see just how deep this Tigers team can go.
Zinn, she's at the line. She made the first one and she made the second one. Productive trip to the line by Lainey Mears. Or excuse me, Lainey Zinn. Tipton picks up her dribble. Nice pass inside to Watson, but great hands that time by Grant. And they're going to say it went off Ouachita, so it'll be SWOSU ball.
I think they're saying it went off Watson. I'm not entirely sure, though. I didn't see.
Nevertheless, here's Zinn passing it to her sister. Outside to Jones over Tipton. And Mason Jones, that one rattles out for her. Good opportunity from deep, but just could not convert.
We see SWOSU taking quite a bit more threes than Ouachita. Of course, they've made one more, but the Tigers being much more efficient from the three-point land, 80% compared to SWOSU's 50.
Samantha Watson to Tipton. High-low inside to Harrison. Harrison no good. And she's missed her last 3 shots now.
With that height differential between Harrison and all the rest of the players on this squad, you really have to be able to make those shots. She's a little bit cold right now. She's got to get her head back in the game in this one.
Robinson. Nice pick and roll. And got the ball to a rolling Winfrey, and Winfrey's able to find herself to a foul, but it'll be on the floor.
Good to see Winfrey getting a little bit in here. She has had a slow past few games.
And that'll send us to the first media timeout of the second quarter. Ouachita trails 22-21 to the SWOSU Bulldogs. We'll be right back after this break here on the Ouachita Sports Digital Network.
I've heard people say Ouachita.
Ouachita.
Is it pronounced Ouachita?
Searching for Ouachita Baptist University.
Back in Texas, everybody pronounces it Wichita, but really, it's Ouachita.
Ouachita.
Ouachita. How would you pronounce it?
Ouachita.
Ouachita.
It's Ouachita Baptist University. Get it right.
It's Ouachita, people. It's Ouachita.
Ouachita.
And some more shots of the snow that we've gotten on campus here at Ouachita. Welcome back to the Ouachita Sports Digital Network. Ouachita trailing here at home 22-21. But Phil, it's been a cold couple days here on campus, but we've gotten some good basketball in. Thursday, we saw two really good games where this Lady Tigers team took down Southeastern Oklahoma State. Northwestern Oklahoma State, excuse me. And then the men's team doing the same thing just right after. You know, fans here hoping to get the same result. Phil, what did you see on Thursday that you were really excited to see from this women's team?
Well, you know, we saw them jump out to an exciting lead for the majority of that matchup. They actually never trailed Northwestern Oklahoma State at all. However, Northwestern Oklahoma State brought it within 3 down at the very end of the game. Definitely, the scoreboard does not tell the full story of that one. Could have been a much scarier outcome than we saw.
And right there, that will go off Abby Harrison, so the Tigers start the post timeout period with a turnover. Zinn outside. Grant with the 3, and she knocks it down. The Bulldogs add some padding to their lead, and now they're up by 4, 25-21.
And that is what is going to be the difference maker in this game. Turnovers are absolutely vital to the way SWOSU is playing here.
And that'll be a 10-second call. Tigers can't get it across half court in time. And SWOSU's defense continues to give Ouachita problems as they now inch further and further away on the scoreboard.
And that's going to be the 10th turnover for this Tiger team so far today. We said it before the game. That is going to be SWOSU's strategy, trying to make the Tigers turn over the ball. They have to take care of it better than that.
Here's Zinn backing down. Grant back to Zinn in the corner. Pass in the corner to Jones. She's wide open, and she can't convert. On the inside, Avery Zinn. And she's going to watch Heidi Robinson go right past her. And right there, Coach Kylie Hill has seen enough. He watched his team relinquish what was trailing by 1, now trailing by 6. And Phil, we're going to stay here. You know, SWOSU starting off cold, but now has really picked things up with their intense defense, finally giving Ouachita the problems that they wanted.
Absolutely, and we've said it a few times before. Ouachita and basketball in general is a game of momentum. Clearly the momentum is on SWOSU's side right now. It was on Ouachita's side at the beginning. I expect to keep seeing that pendulum swing back and forth between the two teams. Ouachita needs to take care of the ball better here, clearly. They're shooting better than SWOSU, both from field goal and three-point percentage. They just cannot take care of the ball if they're not getting enough shots up. They're just not getting enough opportunities to show that here.
And you see Coach Hill pulling out the board in that timeout, almost definitely trying to make a press breaker here. So here's Tipton. She's just going to run past half court. Doesn't want to get anywhere close to that set 10-second count again.
You saw Tipton was a little bit cautious there, not to go front and back.
Harrison unable to get that one to go inside, but Mason Jones unable to procure the rebound. Ouachita will maintain possession. They'll get a new shot clock though.
And that puts the normally efficient Harrison at 2 for 6 on the night. She keeps getting it into the paint in that size differential, but she just cannot seem to get those shots to fall.
Tipton. She doesn't have her dribble on the outside. Here's Winfrey now. Shot clock ticking down. Tipton's going to take a deep three, and no good off the front of the rim.
That was a very high arching three. I was a little worried it wouldn't hit the rim at first. Still managed to do quite well.
Zinn, she's guarded by Babel, top of the key. Jones, she's taken a lot of them. Can she get this one? And she can. Mason Jones finally finds the three from the outside, and now she's shooting a solid 2 for 9 from deep today. Excuse me, 2 for 5 from deep today.
This is definitely a very, very strong momentum for SWOSU. Washita is scoreless in the last 4 minutes and 28 seconds.
And that won't happen here, as Winfrey is going to get called for the charge, and Brooke Smith is going to come in for her. Also another substitution for Washita, Caden Porter, the freshman, coming in for Samantha Watson. Here's Avery Zinn. SWOSU looking to add to their lead a little bit more here. Jones. Zinn, she's going to take the three over Babel, and that one goes down. SWOSU takes a commanding 12-point lead in this one.
That's going to be the third three-point shot for Zinn to go in here today.
Washita now, they need a score before this game gets even more out of hand. Smith inside to Harrison. Shot clock ticking down. Here's Porter. Smith, she's got to get a shot up, and she can't. That'll be a shot clock violation for Washita, and that's turnover number 12.
Just not the way that they wanted to start off this game. The second quarter definitely leading Washita down a rabbit hole, and now staring down a 12-point deficit.
Zinn, she's going to take a three, and she finds it. Coach Kylie Hill is going to call another timeout here as Washita giving up a 19-0 run going into this break. We're going to take a quick break here as well, and we'll be right back with you here on the Washita Sports Digital Network.
Owned by OBU alumni, Java Primo is the official coffee house of Washita Tiger football. At Java Primo, amazing coffee is just the beginning. Try our great options at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and don't forget about our amazing desserts. Also, shop Java Primo's gift selection 24/7 online at javaprimo.com.
Go Tigers! Go Tigers!
I'm Rex Horn, the Interim Executive Director of the Arkansas Baptist State Convention, and today I'm joined by my friend Dylan, who's an attorney with the Arkansas Baptist Foundation, with an important word for you.
The foundation is here to help you support your Washita Tigers. If you'd like to create an estate plan that supports Washita and its mission, or learn about other giving opportunities, please contact us using the information below.
And welcome back to Bill Vining Arena here on the Washita Sports Digital Network. Right now, the Southwestern Oklahoma State Bulldogs currently on a 19-0 run against the hosting Washita Baptist Tigers, who have been scoreless in the past 6 minutes. Washita now hoping to end that trend here. But first, they've got to get through this press breaker. They do. Smith, no good. Good rebound by Harrison, and she can't get that one to go. Abby Harrison's shooting struggles continue.
I think most of those struggles are going to come down to confidence. Abby Harrison clearly not getting the production she normally gets, and the Tigers in general not getting the production they normally get. Very interesting to see the lack of confidence in this normally very confident Tigers team.
And that's stolen by Babel. Pass down to Smith, no good, but good find by Joey Babel. They're gonna say They're going to call a foul on the inside.
Foul the Bulldogs, number 5, Avery Zinn. As their first personal foul, Southwestern.
Call on Avery Zinn. It'll be on the floor. Substitution for Ouachita. Grayson Fairless comes in for Abby Harrison. Babel taking it out of bounds. Here's Tipton. And that one tied up, and it'll be a jump ball. SWOSU takes back possession, and 5 seconds between the shot clock and game clock. Ouachita will have a chance if they can get the rebound here.
And SWOSU just absolutely dominating this quarter. It's a 24-5 run for the entirety of the second quarter here.
Avery Zinn, she's going to try to tick down some time on the clock. Cantrell. And Mason Jones, looks like she took a couple too many steps there. And now with 11 seconds left in the half, Ouachita will have their chance to end this run before going to the locker room. Here's Babel. 5 seconds left. Porter, she'll take the three. No good, and that will be the last shot of the first half. Southwestern Oklahoma State goes to the locker room with a 36-21 lead over the hosting Ouachita Baptist Tigers. And we're going to take ourselves just a quick break before we come back with some halftime festivities, but we'll be right back with you. This has been Isaac Bourne and Phil Bird here on the Ouachita Sports Digital Network, presented by Taylor King Law.
Visit the Ouachita campus store for all your Tiger apparel, merchandise, and gifts. If you need something to wear to show your Tiger pride, stop by the Ouachita campus store on the bottom floor of the Evans Student Center to grab a t-shirt, sweatshirt, polo, or more. If you can't stop by the store on campus, visit us online at bookstore.obu.edu. Make your purchase and we'll send it to you. Support the Tigers by checking out the Ouachita campus store. Go Tigers.
Make Print Mania in downtown Arkadelphia your place to get embroidery, screen printing, trophies, and more. Drop by their store on Main Street in downtown Arkadelphia or visit their website at printmaniatees.com to see how they can help your business or group. Need a shirt for an event? Let Print Mania take care of that. Need promotional materials for your business or organization? You can let Print Mania take care of that too. A family-run local business in Arkadelphia, Print Mania has been serving the public since 1992. Call Print Mania today, 870-246-3803.
I'm Sandra, this is Jorge, and we were adopted in 2019. I remember when they first came to us, Michael was already a teenager. The whole cliche of they're so lucky to have you guys, and it's the other way around. They have changed our family for the better. They chose to love us. They didn't have to. They chose us. Family.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org.
Whether you realize it or not, you see the work of Batson Signs all around Arkadelphia. When you see the Badger equipment trailer on the way to a Badger game, Batson Signs did that. When you're watching the Badgers, Tigers, or Reddies and see the signage that just really makes their facilities pop, Batson Signs did that too. You see the signage in downtown Arkadelphia, on the campuses of Ouachita and Henderson, or the sign in your neighbor's yard supporting a candidate or their favorite Badger? Yep, Batson Sign did that too. Longtime residents and supporters of all things Arkadelphia called Mark, Jared, Chris, or Ryan at Batson Signs today to see what they can do for you.
It is halftime of the women's game. Ouachita trails 36-21. It was a 19-0 run to end the second quarter for Southwestern Oklahoma State. Chris Babb with Ouachita Director of Athletics David Sharp there on the screen. You see some of the footage from yesterday.
Yeah.
It is a pretty campus anyway. David, you've been here for a couple of years. It's
Just
a pretty
a couple.
campus. Just a couple. It's a pretty campus anyway, but man, you put some snow on it, and it really is pretty.
Really does, doesn't it? And
not too much. We don't want a ton of
yeah, and we
We don't want it too many times. It doesn't sound good what January weather outlook is right now.
No.
Because the air is going to stay cold, and and so any moisture is not going to be fun. But hopefully we can get in school, and of course you know what that does to athletic events that are going on here, and we're fortunate to get these two in.
Absolutely,
so, yeah.
absolutely. Let's talk about that. School starts this next week.
Right.
Students come back towards the end of this weekend. Moved it to today because of the weather, and then classes will get going. Athletics almost never stops in full swing, and even this week, towards the end of this week, Thursday night, saw a lot of the teams that were already here. The softball team was sitting over here. The wrestlers, the swimmers had their annual trip training session in Florida. They're back. Baseball started practice yesterday, and not outside.
They were inside,
but. This is. It seems like any time we have you on a broadcast, you could use the term. It's an exciting time for athletics because they never stops, and that's the case right now, even in the first week of January.
Yeah, and it's a lot of people think you get done with the fall and you say, oh man, it slows down. No, it actually picks up, and then as you well know, it's going to accelerate even at the end of this month with all of your spring sports, and and there you got Cliff Harris Stadium, and of course the school across the street with all of their athletic facilities, and that's pretty, isn't it, Chris?
It really is.
It's just pretty, and we didn't get as much snow. I think somebody told me you drive 7 miles north,
right?
And the temperature was just a little different that allowed more accumulation. But that's pretty. Looking there at
I don't understand why the baseball team didn't practice yesterday.
Yeah,
Coach.
I can't either. But
you have to get on Coach Howard. Tennis team either.
Yeah, well, the tennis team could go
That's
inside.
True.
I was sitting with Coach Shoemake up there just a minute ago. He's here, and we were talking about all of his guys getting back here. I thought that was a tree slanted, but it was a ditch.
Yeah,
it was a ditch that was.
You didn't go sledding yesterday.
Yeah,
you didn't find any hills, did you?
No. I'm way past that.
Let's talk about these going into the spring semester. I think Jeff Root interviewed you last week at halftime of the Arkansas Tech games. The success of Ouachita athletics this past fall semester.
Yeah.
I've been around for 20-something years. You've been around for longer than that. I don't know if I remember a semester in which there were 4 and 5, if you count women's soccer regular season and and tournament championship. Yeah. 5 conference champions among Ouachita's fall athletic teams. It was absolutely tremendous.
Yeah, you're right. I haven't seen it, and I've been associated for a long time as a player and a coach and an administrator, and so we loved just when we got a championship here and there, in whatever sport it was. So to have that happen in the fall was just I thought, number one, a great tribute to our student athletes and the coaches that coach them. And because it's not easy, Chris, and it's there's so many things going on besides practice and competition. They've got all of the other events. They've got obviously they go to classes. They've got their lives to live, and they're trying to be a student along with a student athlete. And so just so proud of all of them, how they represent themselves on campus. And then I can't do any. I got to brag about them academically a little bit. I just did a study. That you'll probably hear about Monday. Our average grade point average for all of our teams is 3.49.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I think the women's is a little. It's 3.66 is their average, and the men's is like a 3.41, and so you get in between there. And
David, you mentioned that. Obviously. If you keep up with sports, I tend to keep up with college sports more so than professional, except for the Commanders. You're welcome.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah. So,
Cliff in talking. Listening.
That's right. I texted him when I was in Dallas last weekend. So you hear he's in Mountain Harbor. He didn't have to see me in my maroon and burgundy shirt in Dallas.
Yeah.
We see a lot among the landscape in the news about big-time college athletics. I was actually telling my wife, they were talking about how much money Notre Dame's going to get because they're not in the conference and all the stuff that goes with NIL at that level and everything. And I said it just makes me glad. There are a lot of benefits about big time. It's different, you know, but it makes me glad to be at the Division II level for a lot of reasons, because I have these student athletes in class. I see that they do care, and it seems to me that we only have 7 minutes left at halftime. We could have a whole 30-minute discussion about this, I'm sure.
We could.
It seems to me that the Division II model, at least what we do at Ouachita, is probably closer to the original intent of collegiate athletics.
Chris, there's no question about it, and you're spot on. And first, let me say this: I'm thankful we're Division II,
right?
And I'm thankful I made the decision many years ago to stay committed to this level, and I love what we do because it's not. I don't think college athletics, especially on the upper level, I love to watch it,
right.
you know, but it's not what I signed up for. I'm not sure, and they're students, but they're not really student athletes. They're employees now to some degree, and yeah, they're getting degrees, and there's so much money, and hopefully Congress is going to get involved in this with the NCAA, and they cap some of that stuff on the NIL, and the portal is another. We could spend
another
20 minutes talking on the portal, but the good thing is Division II. You know, we've got the March Madness is where that contract that goes through 32 that was signed last January, a year ago right now, goes through 32, and that's where our money comes from for Division II. So I think we're in good shape there. Is the landscape shifting? Absolutely, it's shifting, and it's shifting right now. It's shifting in Division II a little bit, and that's all I'll say about that. But we're going to be fine. We just need to keep we need to keep what our vision is of what we think we do and how we do it. And I can't say enough about our coaches and our staff of how we do that. Now, NIL, I would have told you 3 years ago, NIL, we won't deal with it, but we're dealing with it. And I'm actually working on a plan that's not quite cooked yet, but now I'm not talking the hundreds of thousands of dollars, but I'm talking about some monies there to be able to compete with other schools that we need to compete with to get certain people.
Absolutely. Well, it is January 11th. Classes start next week. The spring semester will kick up. The winter sports will continue. And here in about 20 days, we'll be entering the winter-spring crossover. It's going to be a fun time.
3 weeks from yesterday, which is January 31st.
Right.
All right. If I'm not mistaken, I've got it here on my phone. We play basketball on Thursday the 30th. We play softball and baseball. Softball's 31st. Here. Thankfully, baseball's in Hot Springs, and then the next day we have baseball and softball. We have basketball here
and tennis
and tennis, and so it's one of those Saturdays what you live for.
That's right.
But it's what keeps me going, Chris.
It's a lot of fun. Yep. Thanks for your work. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for all y'all do in Ouachita Sports Digital.
We're glad to be here. I want to thank my students for coming back. A lot of them came back Wednesday, early Thursday, and got here. And Brian Ramsey's got students here working.
You look over there, and we can't. Thankfully, I'm not. I was running the clock the other day, and they've kept the book, and I'm not beyond that. But it's nice to have people back to do that.
Yeah, David, thanks a lot. After that, we'll have a break, and then Phil and I will come back with recap the first half and try to get Ouachita off of this little lull they found offensively in the second quarter. You're watching Ouachita basketball on the Ouachita Sports Digital Network, presented by Taylor King Law.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight, both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back, because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
It's an ordinary day. Stephanie's driving home from school, like she does every day. Since she's almost home, she takes a quick glance at her phone, like she does every day. She arrives safely, like she does every day. It's another ordinary day. But then, something out of the ordinary happens. Distracted driving kills.
And welcome back to some second half action here at Bill Vining Arena. I'm Isaac Bourne, once again joined by Phil Bird. And thank you to Chris Babb and David Sharp for joining us at halftime to talk about some athletic stuff coming on in the future. And just make sure to tune in to the Ouachita Sports Digital Network all throughout the month of January, February, March, and April, and maybe a little bit of May if baseball playoffs happen here at Ouachita, as we will be able to provide you with almost every bit of sports action on the campus of Ouachita. But for now, we've got a game here at Bill Vining Arena, Phil, that's not really gone in the Tigers' favor so far.
No, it really hasn't. And I'll tell you what, the two biggest parts to play in that will probably be the turnovers. The Southwestern Oklahoma, we knew that they were going to try and force a lot of turnovers. They've been fairly successful at it so far. They have forced 13 turnovers from the Tigers. In comparison, they only have 4 turnovers themselves. That comes in steals. They have 6 steals compared to the Tigers' 2. That comes in shot clock violations, backcourt fouls. A lot of these things continue to haunt the Tigers here, and hopefully they can clean some of that up in the second half.
And the Tigers will look to clean up the turnovers in this half. Meanwhile, SWOSU looking to maintain this lead and possibly maybe expand it as they come into this one with a 15-point lead. Now just a couple seconds away, Phil, what players do you expect for both teams to be the catalyst for either an expansive lead or a comeback for the Ouachita?
Well, obviously the Zen sisters have been probably the most influential for SWOSU here in this first half, 11 points each. Meanwhile, on the Tigers side, Madeline Timpton with the lead, but no players particularly standing out yet. Abby Harrison hoping to get a little more production in the post. She's been doubled almost every time they have gone to her, so they may have to have a different strategy here.
And there's the woman of the hour. Madeline Tipton is going to start the quarter with the ball. Tigers are going to swing it around, though. Tipton, guarded by Cantrell. Inside to Harrison, spin, outside to Winfrey, and she hits it off the bank and gets it to go. Audrey Winfrey gets her first field goal of the game to go from deep.
And that's great to see Audrey Winfrey back on the scoreboard. She's had a slow couple of days after a fast start to the season. Maybe she can get something going for the Tigers here.
Jones, outside. Grant. Around Winfrey is Avery Zinn, and she can't get it to go. The Tigers now with another chance to make a little bit more of a comeback. Tipton in the corner. No good. Rebound by Harrison. And Abby Harrison touched it last. It'll be out of bounds on Ouachita. SWOSU takes it back the other way. Phil, right there, you could have almost seen a 6-point swing. Tipton unable to make it there, but Ouachita already starting off pretty good in this half.
Absolutely. They're a little bit cleaner. Defensively especially, they're not allowing SWOSU to walk all over them, and that's what's going to be necessary. It's going to be hard for them to come back, but if they can do it, it's going to be through tough defensive and taking care of the ball.
Zinn on the inside, no good. She was looking for a foul there. Ouachita trailing by 6. Here's Robinson. Harrison backing down Lainey Zinn. She's doubled. That time no good on the left side. She keeps looking for the foul down low, but just cannot get it. Here's Lainey Zinn going the other way.
You see every single time they go to Harrison down low, she gets double teamed. After her first few points in the first quarter, they really have tried to take her out of this one. The Tigers might have to find some way around that.
And Grant's three is no good. SWOSU still scoreless in the second half. Harrison backing down Haley Grant. Mears, drive on the inside. She's got Robinson wide open from deep. And right there, looked like she might have almost been too open. That one's no good off the back of the rim. Cantrell open in the corner for three, and that time she knocks it in. That's Chloe Cantrell's first three of the game, first points of the game too.
It's going to be important for the Tigers to get their main four. We've talked about them before, getting productive. They were not very productive in the second quarter, and it led to only 5 points for the Tigers. They're going to have to be producing something here.
Shot by Winfrey, no good. SWOSU back the other way. Zinn, drive to the left side. Up and under is good. Good defense by Ouachita, but better offense by Avery Zinn. Ouachita now, after starting off the quarter with a three, now has started to go cold once again.
The Tigers really need a confidence booster here.
Mears' three is no good. Here's SWOSU. Zinn out to her sister. Mason Jones, deep three, and that one's no good. Cantrell on the follow, and she draws the foul.
We see there, that's something that the Tigers have not had the advantage here that we expected them to. The Tigers both even on rebounds at 20 each. Compared to their preseason pre-game coming into that, they had one of the best rebound margins in the league at 8.5 compared to 10.8, negative 10.8, my apologies for SWOSU. Great job by the Bulldogs to take the rebounding game out of Ouachita's hands.
Substitutions for both teams. Shields is in for SWOSU. And then in for Ouachita, Joey Babel and Brooke Smith. Cantrell's first free throw is no good. She'll look to rebound on the second one. And Phil, Ouachita, they started off the quarter quickly. Nice three from Audrey Winfrey, but since then they've gone scoreless. And so how do you see Ouachita being able to get back into this one?
Well, I'm going to tell you what, it only takes one shot to get momentum changing. The Tigers really need something to, let them know that they're still in this, that they can still come back, kind of boost their confidence a little bit. If they can get that, they can get momentum back on their side, and they can get this game at least closer.
And it's plays like that that can start it. Mason Jones, the costly turnover, and if the Tigers can convert off this one, it'll be a very good confidence booster. Tipton, she's guarded by Libby Zinn. Inside to Brooke Smith, and Brooke Smith gets the floater to go. Madeline Tipton, credit her with the assist, and now the Tigers have their first 2 points in 3 minutes.
And right there, great shot, great floater, honestly, by Brooke Smith there. It's going to be her first points of the game. Great job getting involved.
Mason Jones, no good in the corner. Ball bobbling around. Winfrey comes down with it. Brooke Smith, what an effort to get to the floor. And they're going to say she fouled number 22, Libby Zinn. Great effort by the sophomore. Still grimacing on the floor, and you see that play. You'll look at that play once again. See the ball bobbling around, and then you see it get to the hands of Winfrey, and Brooke Smith falling to the floor, but they're going to say she swept the legs of that SWOSU player.
Great hustle there by Smith. She's last two possessions really bringing some energy back to this Tigers team.
And what a great move by Libby Zinn, and she's going to give herself two there. And pass ahead by Babel is just a little too far forward, and Mears can't get to it. Substitution for Ouachita. Babel comes out, and coming in for her, the junior Samantha Watson.
We've seen the substitution slow down a bit for the Tigers, and clearly what they're trying here does not seem to be giving them the best results. Be interesting to see if they change anything up.
Shields to Jones. She's guarded by Tipton. Her and Tipton have had a battle all day today. Here's Gooch. Takes it over Smith, and they're going to call over the back on Mason Jones.
And it's possessions like that that are going to keep SWOSU from making this lead anymore. Make them use the full shot clock. Give yourself some power there.
And right there, we're going to take a quick break. Ouachita trailing 44-26 here at the midpoint of the third quarter. We'll be right back on the Ouachita Sports Digital Network, presented by Taylor King Law.
I've heard people say Ouachita.
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 Is it pronounced Ouachita?
Searching for Ouachita Baptist University.
Back in Texas, everybody pronounces it Wichita, but really, it's Ouachita.
Ouachita. Ouachita.
How would you pronounce it?
Ouachita.
Ouachita.
It's Ouachita Baptist University. Get it right.
It's Ouachita, people. It's Ouachita.
Ouachita.
And welcome back to the Ouachita Sports Digital Network. After that quick break, Ouachita trails 44-26. I'm Isaac Bourne, joined by Phil Bird. And looking at what we've seen in this quarter, that first three by Winfrey gave many fans here a chance to maybe get excited about Ouachita maybe coming back into this one. But SWOSU has just gone blow for blow with them, and they've really made this game look like a game where they're just going to take the Tigers out of it.
Absolutely. What the Tigers need to do here is somehow get some momentum back. They need to maybe get a run, get some momentum. If they keep going blow for blow, they can stay even with SWOSU and still lose the game. After that second quarter, they really need some advantage to come out here in order for them to put this game back in contention.
And the ball goes in. It'll be Audrey Winfrey taking it out of bounds. This SWOSU press continuing to give Ouachita issues. Brooke Smith, though, shifty move to get around Gooch there.
Good to see Brooke Smith back on her feet. She had a scary fall there near the end of that last period.
Smith just been a trooper all day. She fell, like you said, with that scary fall earlier, but then also went down to the floor just a minute ago and still playing in this one. And Tipton just hounded there, and they're going to call a foul.
It's our first personal foul at Southwestern's second team foul of the period.
Shout out on the far right side of your screen, you see Chloe Velleman. Shout out to our fellow director there.
She would hate it if she knew you did that.
It's all right. She waved on the broadcast earlier. They're going to say it's a foul away from the ball. It'll be on Brooke Smith, it looks like.
And you see clear frustration from Kylie Hill questioning the ref there. He wants to know where that foul was.
And Phil, one thing you've noticed about this one, very little referee interference, a lot less than we've seen in recent games for Ouachita. It really has just been a standout performance for this Bulldog squad.
Absolutely. They, statistically have not been playing the way that they are here today. They seem to really just be on a hot streak here.
And nice move in the post by Zinn, unable to get it to go. Ouachita running quickly the other way. Here's Watson. Outside to Mears. That one's tipped away by Grant. Tipped in, floating in midair. And that's exactly what Madeline Tipton does. She makes those momentum-changing plays, and floating in midair there, she does it from the inside.
And it's clear SWOSU is not going to give them any easy points here. And just there, we see once again SWOSU just going blow for blow.
Avery's in. Another effort there to make sure that no good buckets by Ouachita are going to be able to give them that confidence back. Smith. Watson, and she stepped on the line there. Another turnover for the Tigers.
And Kylie Hill clearly very frustrated with some of the referee's calls here. The Tigers certainly a lot more foul prone than their opponents.
SWOSU with the ball. Shields taking it on the inside. Mid-range shot is good. Good shot there by Mabry Shields.
And it seems no matter how good defense Ouachita plays, these shots just keep falling. You almost can't fault the Tigers.
Robinson, she's guarded closely by Shields. And that'll be a foul. Credit that to Haley Grant, the senior out of Claremore, Oklahoma.
Third personal foul and Southwestern's third team foul in the period.
Mears drawing the foul, still on the floor. This is not in a bonus situation yet, so Ouachita taking it out of bounds.
And it seems no matter what the Tigers do, somehow SWOSU just manages to match them. Good offense, sometimes there's better defense. Good defense, sometimes there's better offense. I said it before, you can't really fault the Tigers for some of their performances here today.
Tipton. Here's Mears. Nice pass inside to Madeline Tipton, and she finishes the play. That Laney Mears Madeline Tipton connection continues to keep the Tigers from relinquishing this game. Winfrey to Mears. She's going to take the three. No good. Oh, and Brooke Smith falling to the floor. She gets right up. They're going to call a foul. That'll be on SWOSU. Look at a replay of that play once again. Smith going up with it, going up for the shot. Just way to get up from that, because Phil, that looked like it hurt.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. If I'd been hit like that, I would have been on the floor for another 5 seconds. We see here the Tigers playing at their own pace.
And nice pass inside by Porter and Audrey Winfrey. Great work in the post to get it to go.
Great job proving my point there, Tigers. When you play at your own pace, when you don't make the other team control the game, they really have an advantage. They need to keep doing this.
Cantrell to Zinn. She's guarded by Caden Porter. Zinn with the three. Avery Zinn, no good on the shot. Ouachita now a chance to cut into this lead a little bit more. Robinson.
Ouachita is 4 for 5 in their last 5 field goals.
And Brooke Smith, call her the Iron Woman this afternoon, continuing to be a big face on this court today. Zinn right inside the three-point line. That one rattles out. Now shot clock is off. Ouachita now. They're going to look to get it right back to Brooke Smith, and Brooke Smith rattles it in. The Tigers now on a big run.
And I've said it before, the Tigers specifically, whenever a player doesn't seem to be playing up to the standard they're normally at, they bring back the momentum and deep in the depth chart.
And great steal by the freshman Porter. It'll be a jump ball. No, it'll be a foul. Caden Porter, a chance to make this lead only 10 going into the fourth quarter. Phil, what a sequence for Ouachita.
Absolutely, a 6-0 run in the last 2 minutes and 36 seconds, holding SWOSU scoreless for that entire time. SWOSU being very cold, 1 for 4 in their last 4 field goal attempts. This is the momentum swing that the Tigers have needed so desperately.
Porter no good on the free throw. If she makes this one, SWOSU will have 1.5 seconds to get a shot before the end of the third quarter. And Porter's shot is good. She's going to Madeline Tipton coming in for Winfrey.
That's another thing we have not seen much of from the Tigers. Only 4 free throws attempted overall.
And Zinn's shot to end the quarter is no good. And now this game is starting to become a little bit more interesting. Southwestern Oklahoma State leads this one going into the final quarter, 48-37. We'll be right back after these commercials here on the Ouachita Sports Digital Network, presented by Taylor King Law.
Barry and Turnage, we specialize in bringing the law to your corner. We are dedicated to understanding what results you want and to helping you understand what actions we can take on your behalf. With over 30 years of experience and a proven track record of success, Barry and Turnage is here to lead you down a path to the results you need. We will work with you every step of the way to make sure that you understand the choices you are making and feel empowered to make them. Barry and Turnage. Serious injuries require serious attorneys.
And welcome back to the Ouachita Sports Digital Network. And Phil, in this one, many thought Ouachita was out of it. But due to the efforts of that woman right there, Brooke Smith, the Tigers now within 11 here at home.
Absolutely, and I think if you look at the box score split up between quarters, you see kind of the first quarter and the third quarter very, very similar for the Tigers. And Brooke Smith clearly a main catalyst for that run we saw at the end of the third quarter there. Second quarter really stands out as an anomaly there. If the Tigers can play the way that they played last quarter, they definitely could very much so be in this one.
Brooke Smith 3 for 4 out of her last 4 shots. The sophomore from Siloam Springs, Arkansas, being a big catalyst for this run for Ouachita, and a player that hasn't really made any noise up to this point has really made this game interesting. Shields with the 3 to start the quarter is no good, and Smith is on the rebound.
We saw earlier Abby Harrison being double teamed in the post. They needed somebody with a bigger presence able to make something happen down there. Brooke Smith definitely showing up.
Tipton, that one's no good. And Phil, right now you see 5 players out on the court, none of them really typically known as a center, both Fairless and Harrison sitting at this point. Brooke Smith really taking over as the woman in the middle right now.
Absolutely, and at this point, just let her cook.
And that shot by Zinn is no good. It's going to sail out of bounds. Ouachita ball. Score just under a minute in. Still at an 11-point deficit for the Tigers. Still plenty of time. Coming in for Caden Porter. That'll be junior Audrey Winfrey. Winfrey, funnily enough, from Auburn, Alabama, home of the Tigers of Auburn.
We see right now all the starters with the exception of Abby Harrison in the game to start this fourth quarter.
And that'll be a foul that'll drawn by Lainey Mears. That'll be Cantrell's first foul of the game. Winfrey taking it out of bounds. 21 seconds still left on the shot clock. Robinson in the corner. And they're going to call a moving screen. That'll be on Brooke Smith. And it'll go back the other way for SWOSU. This quarter still scoreless for both teams. Ouachita now, though, sitting on a 9-0 run that started in that third quarter.
And I will say that quarter break couldn't have come at a better time for SWOSU.
And turnover for SWOSU. Tigers going the other way. Tipton, Mears, Winfrey, open 3 in the corner, no good. Mason Jones with the rebound, and Southwestern Oklahoma State running quickly. Zinn, nice fake pass, mid-range shot, no good. And right now, the Bulldogs going cold at the wrong time.
We saw a little frustration from the Zinn sister. She thought she should have made that pass to her.
And Tipton, nice cut on the inside and on the back door, and she's going to get it to go on the inside. This is the first time we've seen a lead under 10 points in a good while.
And we see here the last time the lead was this close, it was well into the second quarter.
Shields, drive sideline, drive baseline, no good. Heidi Robinson gets the rebound. And Coach Kylie Hill's team going to slow it down just a little bit. They've inched themselves back into this one due to the efforts of the entire team. Mears with a deep 3, and that one is nylon. Lainey Mears, the three, is going to send SWOSU to a timeout. And the Tigers expand their 9-0 run. It sits at 14-0. And Lainey Mears, the three from deep, is going to make it that. We're going to take a quick break, and the Tigers hope to expand this run even more out of it on the Ouachita Sports Digital Network.
It's an ordinary day. Stephanie's driving home from school, like she does every day. Since she's almost home, she takes a quick glance at her phone, like she does every day. She arrives safely, like she does every day. It's another ordinary day. But then, something out of the ordinary happens. Distracted driving kills.
And welcome back to the Ouachita Sports Digital Network. You see there Lainey Mears making a three right in front of the Ouachita softball team to make this the shortest deficit we've seen since the second quarter. 6 points the Tigers trail by. Jones in the corner. Cantrell, she's got a three, no good.
And the Tigers consistently showing that they can stick with the best. One person that's been consistently good through all three quarters, we've seen advantageous play from the Tigers. Madeline Tipton, 5 for 8 overall. 2 of those shots from 3, 12 points in 29 minutes.
Madeline Tipton has really been incredibly consistent for this Tiger team today. And that'll be a jump ball. Ouachita will maintain possession. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Mears taking it out of bounds. Inside to Smith. Brooks Smith, no good. Winfrey. She gets the rebound and give her 2 at the line. Winfrey can't get it to go.
And one thing that quarter definitely saw the Tigers take advantage of, rebounding, and now have a 31-25 advantage in rebounding in this one.
And that one's no good. One quite notable thing that you see in that first half, SWOSU taking a big lead due to a 19-0 run, and now Ouachita with that free throw makes it a 15-0 run to inch back into it. So this game, you know, Phil, a lot of the times you use the term game of runs, but I don't really think any game really means it more than this one here.
Absolutely. That pendulum theory has never been as evident as it is today.
And Cantrell once again can't knock down the open three. Here's Robinson. Tigers trail now by just 5.
And we saw there in the first half, after a large run, the Tigers kind of were on their back feet. I think the same can be said for the Bulldogs here today.
And Robinson can't get it to Smith. It's a turnover. Zinn. That one's stolen right back. Audrey Winfrey with the nice hands. Mears on the inside. She's got Tipton open on the outside, but Mears running right through Libby Zinn. And that'll be a foul on Lainey Mears. That's her 3rd foul of the game. Now Coach Kylie Hill is going to look to probably be a little bit safer with his star guard.
And Lainey Mears and Brooke Smith, the 2 players that have really built this momentum here, both with 3 fouls. 5 minutes, a little under 6 minutes left, my apologies. They got to be safe there in the paint.
Right now, SWOSU 0 for 7 in the 4th quarter, unable to make a shot. Meanwhile, the Tigers 2 for 5. Mears. Cross court to Winfrey. Good hands by Avery Zinn to get in front of it. And Phil, right in that opportunity, you see Zinn get in the passing lane, and if Winfrey really would have gotten the ball, she would have had a really advantageous opportunity from the corner.
Yeah, wide open, and what we've seen from Audrey Winfrey, 1 for 2 from 3. She doesn't normally take that many threes, but when she does, she's smart about it. She knows how to make them.
Stoppage of play here by the referees. Quick pause to see what the commotion is about.
I think they want 5 seconds on the shot clock. My apologies.
Now with 5 seconds on the shot clock, Madeline Tipton will take it out of bounds again. Tigers need to get up a shot fairly quickly here. Nice inside pass to Brooke Smith, and Madeline Tipton, what a find by the junior.
And Brooke Smith just demonstrating once again why she can bully these people in the paint. She's been playing the 5 here this last half, and man, she's definitely not making Coach Kylie Hill regret it.
And Madeline Tipton once again making a big play. She gets her hands on the ball and prevents the shot. SWOSU maintains possession. Avery Zinn guarded by Lainey Mears. And she took a couple too many steps now, and with a 1-possession lead, SWOSU will have to play defense against a Ouachita team that is red hot right now.
What was once a 20-point SWOSU lead is now cut down to 3.
And now with the clock ticking just under 5 minutes, we are going to take our final break of the game here as Ouachita looks to get back into this one here on the Ouachita Sports Digital Network.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Welcome back to the Ouachita Sports Digital Network, and there on your screens you see that connection between Madeline Tipton to Brooke Smith, the two players that have really catalyzed this comeback so far. Tipton with 12, Smith with 8, and now the Tigers continue to play this small ball lineup as Haley Grant is still out for SWOSU with 4 fouls. Blocking foul for Zinn, and that's going to send Tipton to the line.
You can tell she really wanted to get a charge there. Don't think her feet were quite set just enough to be able to call that a charge, but great job by Madeline Tipton to notice that.
And Tipton has just been an incredible player for this Ouachita squad, making a game winner just a few weeks ago against UA Fort Smith here at home. And now her heroics in this one have brought Ouachita now to within 2 points. And now to within 1 as she knocks down the second one, give her 14 on the afternoon.
And as of right now, SWOSU's last made field goal was with 2 minutes and 37 seconds left in the third quarter. That's almost a full quarter of scoreless action from the Lady Bulldogs.
And Zinn. Lainey Zinn can't get it to go. The Tigers now with a peak opportunity to take back the lead. The last time they had the lead was with 6:11 remaining in the second quarter.
And currently, Ouachita has matched the major run we saw from SWOSU in the second.
Lainey Mears finds the bottom of the net. The Tigers now have the lead for the first time since midway through the second quarter.
And with that run, the Tigers now surpass what was the Lady Bulldogs' huge run in that second quarter.
Lainey Zinn still can't get anything to go. And now Ouachita. We've been talking about SWOSU increasing their lead, but now the Tigers have a chance to increase it.
And so
Robinson.
interestingly,
Smith to Winfrey. Audrey Winfrey gets it to go. Ouachita continues. They are on a Phil, I said this correctly, 24-0 run in this matchup.
And it's truly insane the way that the Tigers have managed to completely reverse the momentum in this one.
And Coach Jeff Zinn has seen enough. He's going to call a timeout, and let's take a look at that play. The Tigers lead by 4 due to that Laney Mears 3. And then looking at the play right after, you see the connection from Brooke Smith right to Winfrey. And so, with this being a 30-second timeout, both teams just looking to encourage their players, but then you look over at Jeff Zinn, looking at his team, trying to draw something up. Just with a drought as much as SWOSU has seen, Phil, what do they need to do to get back into this one?
Well, I said it about the Tigers earlier, and can't believe I'm saying it about SWOSU now, but you know, one play really can make a difference. Nothing has been going their way at all. They are scoreless this quarter. Just nothing has gone the Bulldogs' way, and if they can just have one mishap from the Tigers, they really could take advantage of it, make this one a closer contest. It'll be interesting to see if they can do it.
You look at both of these squads and you see the score, and while Ouachita only leads by 4, you've seen the scoring drought from this SWOSU team. And you see the scoring drought from this SWOSU team, and trailing by 4 is definitely not what it looks like. They're trailing by just 4, but it's even more because they have not been able to make a shot in so long. Referees coming to the table now to look at a possible shot clock situation. In this quick break, we also want to take a second to thank our sponsors for the Ouachita Sports Digital Network, Taylor King Law, for their continued support of the network. And with that, the referees have made their decision, and they will set the shot clock back to 23 seconds.
Seemingly what could be very influential 23 seconds. Every second matters when the score is this close. The Tigers proved that, taking advantage of everything SWOSU gave them. SWOSU going to try and do the same.
Mason Jones passing it into Zinn. Like I mentioned before, the referees came over to the table, Phil. While Ouachita leads by 4, to SWOSU, trailing by 4 is a lot more than just trailing by 4, especially with such a scoring drought as they're in right now.
Absolutely. They really have no momentum on their side just yet.
And Zinn can't get it to go, and there's no foul on the play.
And clear frustration from every member of this Lady Bulldogs team.
Here's Robinson. She's guarded by Jones. Spin on the inside. Floater is good. Continuing this run is Heidi Robinson.
And really, you just cannot stop the Tigers right now. No, we said it in the third quarter, no matter what they did, the Tigers couldn't stop them. The same can be said the other way now.
And the Tigers, another miss for SWOSU. And they say, let's add some more to this lead. Robinson.
Mears has the most points in the game currently for the Tigers with 14.
And Tipton, no good on the fader. To the ground. And that's a jump ball that'll go back towards SWOSU, but great effort by the Tigers on the rebound.
Absolutely, the Tigers are just out hustling these Lady Bulldogs at every turn here.
Tigers lead by 6. Just under 2 minutes remaining in this contest. Phil, we've had our fair share of excitement this afternoon.
Absolutely we have. It's almost hard to believe we have a whole nother game after this one. I might need a nap here in between them.
Jones, no good. And maybe that nap can come if Ouachita can put these Bulldogs to bed here. Robinson to Smith. Brooke Smith, give her 10. The sophomore has really come into her own this afternoon. She's got 10 points and 8 rebounds today.
And she was off balance. She just made it look easy. Honestly, I would have fallen over so quickly with that good defense.
Zinn backing down Tipton. And that right there takes the ginormous cap on the basket off for the Bulldogs as finally Libby Zinn is able to get a shot to go. This is only a 6-point game still, so definitely still playable with under a minute to go. Coach Kylie Hill calling a timeout. Ouachita leads 56-50 here, Phil. We're gonna stay here again as both teams are gonna stay on the court.
Yeah, and it looked like that 30-6 run in the last 14 minutes might not have been enough for Kylie Hill. Clearly saw a bit of a momentum shift, decided to call a timeout. But, I mean, nothing could be going better for the Tigers here.
And, Phil, a lot of the times for me, I like to say a 6-point lead is just barely what you want going into the final minute. But at the same time, 6 points is 2 possessions. So if you're SWOSU right here, how do you look at these final 52.6 seconds?
Well, they need to play lockdown defense. They had a lot of success early in that, especially in that major second quarter of forcing turnovers. We see the Tigers here with the ball. SWOSU needs to try and force some turnovers, and then players like Mason Jones and Laney Zinn that can shoot the 3 ball, they need to get the ball in their hands.
Ouachita, they've got the ball, and they've still got some time on the shot clock. They will look to count it off just a little bit more. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Ouachita needs to get a shot off. And that's a turnover for Laney. 38.0 seconds left, and that's barely just enough time for the Bulldogs to make something happen here.
And normally you would say that, using the full shot clock wouldn't be a good idea, but the Tigers with a 6-point lead now, they need to use as much time as they can, give the Bulldogs as little time to equalize here.
Zinn with the 3, and that one misses everything. Ouachita gets the ball back, and the bench for the Tigers finally starting to realize that they somehow have won this one.
Well, not just yet. There's no shot clock left on the board, but looks like the Lady Bulldogs are not going to give up, giving that massive full court press once again.
And Brooke Smith, the woman of the afternoon, is going to get the ball in, and she's going to get it right to Heidi Robinson. Robinson, Phil here, what does she need to do with the ball being taken out of bounds here?
Well, the ball being taken out of bounds, I wouldn't be surprised if the Lady Bulldogs are just going to go foul for foul again. Give the ball to your best free throw shooter and let her dribble around.
And Robinson, she's going to get fouled. And that puts Ouachita in the bonus. Robinson will be shooting 1 for 1 here.
And 1 for 1, I wouldn't be surprised if they make the first one, if they go for a intentional miss on the second one.
Robinson, that one is good. Ouachita now with a 7-point lead. Phil, 20 seconds left. SWOSU now will need to just get a shot up as quickly as possible. Robinson does not make the second one. Head coach Jeff Zinn immediately calling a timeout.
With only 20 seconds left on the clock, 7-point game here today. It is possible, but it's going to take a miracle for SWOSU to get back in this one.
Especially with the run that they are on. 1 of their last 17 shots has fallen, and 1 of their last 13 threes has fallen.
And it's important to note, The fourth quarter scoring, this is insane. I almost don't believe this. 20 points for Ouachita, 2 for Southwestern Oklahoma State.
Just not the right time to go cold. Coming into this quarter, the Bulldogs, they led by 11. Ouachita trailed by that much, and now Ouachita leads by 7 with 20 seconds left in this one. Just an incredible turnaround for Coach Kylie Hill's team, and just shows the resilience of his team, which is very encouraging going forward in Great American Conference play.
Absolutely. I would have liked to be in that huddle. What did Kylie Hill say to get his team? He seemed to just set a fire under them, and they have not looked back since.
And for those tuning in, we will have Coach Kylie Hill post-game to talk about what has been an exciting game so far. Jones with a quick 3. That one misses everything. Zinn. And that one's out of bounds. 8.3 seconds left in this one. Coach Kylie Hill calling a timeout.
Looks like that's going to be his last timeout of the game.
And even with a 7-point lead, 8 seconds left on the clock, Coach Hill does not want to take any chances here. A win here for Ouachita puts them at 3-5 in conference play. Meanwhile, for SWOSU, they're going to drop down in their conference play to 3-5 as well. And also with Ouachita having the advantage now, this possibly puts them over the Bulldogs in the standings. What a great win in the conference for the Tigers.
And it's also important to note this would be the Tigers' 5th win in a row. It's hard enough to win 2 in a row in this conference. Make it 5, and this Tigers are on a streak.
And Mears is going to dribble it out here at Bill Vining Arena. That's a 7-point win as your final score. Ouachita 57, Southwestern Oklahoma State 50. And you look there at University President Dr. Ben Sells, excited as ever to watch the Lady Tigers win today. And just after this, quickly post-game, we will have head coach Kylie Hill talk about what we've just witnessed on this court. Phil, we saw a 33-8 run to finish this game in the final 16 minutes, something that is almost unprecedented here on the campus of Ouachita Baptist University.
It's nearly unbelievable, similarly to the way that we saw that last game in with Northwestern Oklahoma State bringing it in at least close. So amazing, so refreshing to see the Tigers somehow bring it back here.
And Lady Tigers now go over to shake hands, and coming over to the desk now is Coach Kylie Hill, but there you see the Lady Tigers softball team excited to watch what was an awesome game to view in person here at Bill Vining Arena. And now I'm joined by head coach of the team, Kylie Hill. And Coach Hill, I don't know where to start. That was just a fun game to watch, but I guess I talked with Phil about this a little bit. What was happening in that huddle where you guys are down by a significant margin in that third quarter?
18 plus, yeah.
And then you talk to your team, and then just some switch flips, and they come out and immediately go on a 24-point run.
Well, the switch was Brooke Smith. That was the switch. We were finally did the things that we had practiced against the switching action, and then we started getting buckets. We missed so many shots around the rim. We were turning it over, and we were trying so hard. We were trying and it was a level of just unbelievable frustration. And I didn't help matters in the first half, but we weren't engaged with ourselves mentally or physically. And all we needed was a quick spark. Brooke brought that spark with us. She hurt her knee, came back. I mean, an unbelievable amount of courage. And then it just from there, we were able to make shots, you know. And another sung hero was that we finally began to make some defensive stops back to back to back. You know, I'm looking at the stat sheet. We held them to 2 points in the fourth quarter. And that's what I kept trying to tell them throughout the course of that game. I said, you know, they went 9 of 16 from the three-point line in the first half, you know, and I said, you got to make them force 2. So our focus coming out, they weren't going to get another 3. And I knew if we ever got on a roll, they weren't going to be able to sustain because their depth. They were gassed out because this was they had to play so hard versus Henderson on Thursday afternoon at 1 o'clock. The weather is a factor with this. And I charged our kids. I said, you're at home. This is our home floor. Go play like it's our home floor. We're playing like we're on the road. And I said, those are things that for us. But all that being said, we responded. These kids responded. We were able to step up, and the story I told before the pregame, it came to fruition for these kids. But I'm just so proud of them, proud of their effort, proud of their grit, and it just shows that the ability to sustain at a very high level and figure out how to score and figure out how to make those stops and then show that at the end of the day, it's not so much, and I heard, somebody was talking about this the other night, maybe it was the football games or maybe Coach Freeman, who's now with, the head coach at Notre Dame. Listen, the other day that it's not so much of what in times are good, what people remember or what they focus on, and then show your true character when in times of adversity. And today we showed our character because we had adverse situations over and over again. Southwestern, SWU did a fantastic job. They came right at us right out of the gate, and then we just had to respond, and we didn't. They knocked us back, and finally that switch flipped with Brooke Smith. She made a bucket, and then all of a sudden we got momentum. And I'm not able to say enough about our softball team who came in here. Home court advantage here in Vining was incredible. Our crowd got involved. Lainey Mears hit a big 3, and boards. Audrey Winfrey was incredible with all of her hustle plays. It was a great effort. And Heidi Robinson did not play well early, and then down the stretch she really helped manage the game. And the other part of that too, we turned it over so many times. On 4 situations in the second half. Once we got past probably the 4-minute mark in the third quarter, I don't know if we turned it over again. Maybe if we did, maybe one time, and that helped us succeed down the stretch.
And Coach, going a little bit more into the strategy of this game, early on we saw there's 2 things I really wanted to mention. Early on we saw that full court press from SWASU really give you guys issues, but then in the second half you guys are able to adjust a little bit more, be able to play a little bit more in the half court, and then also just address that lineup you used later in the game where you take out both Grayson and Abby and you have Brooke play at the center position. Just talk about that press breaker that you guys were able to finally have, and then also that 5-man lineup where you're playing Brooke, who's typically a 3 or a 4 at the 5.
Well, SWASU has the same kind, so they force us to play small, and so it turns into a finesse type game. So we had to do a great job of playing those mismatches because Abby had great looks, but she was looking for the next defender. They did a great job of rotation to double down on her, and she just couldn't get things going today. As hard as she tried, she just couldn't get it going. So we had to make a change, make an adjustment. I was very stern, let's put it that way, at halftime, the way we were attacking the press. I said, one of the things that I wanted to make sure that we didn't have a guard who wanted to win the ball. Everybody was running away from it. And we were basically playing 1 against 5. I said, that's not what we were about. That's not who wants it. So you got to show some courage. And if you don't, I'm going to find the kids who want courage. And we were able to find some kids down the stretch and then made some decisions. And a lot of it has to do, Coach Rhoden and I talk a ton about this. Coach H and I talk a ton. As a staff, we talk a ton about this. Our eye focus. What are we looking at? We're looking at the floor, we're looking at this, and that eye focus goes in a lot of different ways. You've got to be able to see what was happening, and we spent more time looking at the ball, not seeing what was in front of us, and then being second-guess for decisions. But that lineup that we had, it just they clicked. We try to do a lot of things in practice through a different mixture of groups to kind of get – because you never know what's going to happen. You could have foul trouble. You could be down situations. We run some hurry-up offensive pieces, some things that we can know what groups work well together, and they just happened to be that this group did it today, and we're very fortunate to get a big win and, hold home court advantage. But I'm unable to stress enough how thankful and grateful and just appreciative of our kids today, how well they played and how hard they played, and they didn't quit. And we had a lot of people listening. My wife was making through the snow the other night. My dad and my sister weren't able to be here today. My daughter's stuck in an airport in Atlanta. She was supposed to get out today, and she was there all day yesterday and half day today. So they've been watching. So a lot of different positive things. a lot of things that are in our own minds off this floor, our kids were able to really focus on in and do right things down the stretch that are really positive for us.
And Coach, finally, as I always do, just want to ask, you had this turnaround from these past 3 days where you had two games in 3 days. Now slowing down a little bit, and now next week you go on the road. So what is going to be your focus in practice prior to this next conference game this coming week?
Recovery. And let me forget here. I want to give a shout out before I move I'm going to move my but before I get to next week, I got to give a shout out to Ruby Trammell. She had to go take care of something back at home of the week and got snowed in just a little bit. She sent me a video. She's tramping through the snow, winded, so we got to get back and get some sprints going. So Ruby, I'm giving you a shout out. So I'm excited for you to get here. All right, and then going back to answer your question, is that for us, 1 is recovery, 2 is recovery, 3 is recovery, and then from there, because if this group is fresh, we can compete. If they're not fresh, we have moments like we did in the second quarter when we became frustrated, and that's not who we're about, not what we're about. So that's our big 3: recovery, and then begin our prep. Enjoy this today, because Oklahoma Baptist is unbelievably talented, and Southern Naz is unbelievably talented. So we could have our hands full, and we've just got to do a better job of us prepping on the road. Just those things that we can do. And then an unsung thing, welcome back to school. Spring semester, begins on Tuesday, and then we're gone on Wednesday. So our kids have a challenge of a little pressure that first week of classes, and it's just all about those mental approaches and mental mindset.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much once again for joining us on the broadcast. Always an exciting interview with you, and just an exciting game to watch on the court.
I appreciate it. Everybody who was here today, everybody watched online. This team can be fun to watch at times. They're just such a joy to be around, and they've given me joy back in the game that I'd lost for a little bit, and I'm just so appreciative.
Yes, sir. And for that this has been your broadcast of women's basketball here on the Ouachita Sports Digital Network. Your final score, Ouachita wins 57-50 over Southwestern Oklahoma State. Stay tuned in just a couple minutes as the men's broadcast will come on shortly following this one. But for now, this has been Isaac Bourne, joined earlier by Phil Bird. Thank you so much for watching here on the Ouachita Sports Digital Network.
I'm Nicole Auerbach.
Kevin Kugler of Westwood One.
Hi, everybody. It's Pete Granick of the Memphis Grizzlies and Fox Sports Southeast.
This is Danielle Musselman.
This is Kyle Peterson with ESPN.
This is Tom Hart of ESPN and the SEC Network. Thanks for tuning in to the Ouachita Sports Digital Network.